Yeah, that's unusual to see that. So
Is it?
drag it in. Yeah, not it doesn't happen very many times during the day because it stops the traffic, obviously.
Right.
So
So you see, here's a big ship going under Tower Bridge.
that's actually the sound that Tower Bridge makes when the bridge goes up. So let's
No hurry.
come on. I want to see the Blues Brothers jump it. Come on.
Yes. By the way, you know that happened in Milwaukee.
Of course it did. Tell us the story, Brian.
There was no place in Chicago to do it.
Yeah, of course. That's right. I do know these things, but I need to
It
be
went up
reminded.
in the air in Milwaukee and landed in Chicago straight.
That was a long old jump.
Yes, it was. So, if you look over here,
What I've got to say though, as originally a Londoner and I'm here visiting, and I'd like to say I'm showing Brian around, but really I'm following aimlessly, not really knowing where I'm going. But as a Londoner, as I was saying, I think you've got to do this in your own city, in your own town. Make an effort, go and find these places, and explore your own area of the world, because it's so easy to ignore it and not bother because it's up the end, just up the end of the road, and you think, oh yeah, next year. But I'm going to try to make it a more regular thing. And American DJ, this is the deal. Next year, I'm going to try to get us to uplight Tower Bridge. How cool would that be? I'm still doing my sycophantic ways, following around.
different sections have been built over the years. I'm not sure exactly what bit the tower is. It might be this bit right in front of us. But, it's not a big thing. Save my battery. All right, this is the old wall
That's right, yeah, so
dividing the
city.
city from London.
That's right. So that would have been the old city wall, the central city.
City wall, yeah.
Yeah. That's good you do. And look, it's the underground. It's the underground.
London from the city, I guess.
I don't want to admit it, but Brian Red knows more about London than me. Either that, or we can make really, really good stories up. Shh. It's a double-decker bus. We went on one of those earlier on. These are just different views of London. It's sort of interesting when you're here, so I hope it's interesting just to see it if you've never been to London. The interesting thing is, we lost each other somewhere, and here he is. So, are you it?
Concussion and I'm all good.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brian got trapped in the
I
door.
wanted to ride up one more stop because this really hot shit got on right after I got off.
Talking to New York.
Name that tune.
Uptown Girl, Billy Joel.
Lady by Cooling Gang, isn't it?
Uptown Girl.
I guess it is. Yeah, I'm
Mind you, perhaps it wasn't that easy to work it
Lady
out.
by Commodores. You kind of sound like Lady by the Commodores there for a second.
Well, we'll mix it later and see what we can do. Ah. Why am I filming? We're in the middle of Piccadilly, and I'll give you a quick 360. And even with this little camera, we can see what we're doing, and Eros.
Right.
Yeah. But we're looking at the Trocadero, the London Trocadero, just because you know what we're like. We're always looking at things that interest us.
And there we go. Look at that. Dancing.
Uplighting, many colours.
They're basically using 10 par cans per side.
Ah, and they've got something in the windows as well, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they do upstairs as well, so I guess that would be 20 per side. But it's really not that much when you think about it.
For a
I mean,
building
how
that size.
bright are they? think about what the mega panels can do.
Yeah,
And look how far up those are shooting.
that's right.
Those are relatively small, and they're still giving a great effect.
They are on a big building. So I think that's a wonderful example, and that can show you and really point out how excited you should be on some of the products that we're seeing now. You know, such as the Elation Mega Panel by American DJ, just from the fact that very similar products to that being used on a building, an iconic building in the middle of Piccadilly in London, to light the whole building up. A few of them. So when you both film it, very, very difficult. We're in Covent Garden, guys.
We did this place like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
That's right, yeah, it was a fruit and veg market
Right.
for the centre of London, flowers as well. And yeah, they just decided they've moved it outside the city slightly now, so all that's done outside, and they utilised the space. But everyone went crazy because the plan was to knock it down, and but they didn't, thank God.
Yeah, this is great. This is excellent. Tonight is the perfect place to be.
We're in Covent Garden, guys.
We did this place like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
That's right, yeah, it was a fruit and veg market
Right.
for the centre of London, flowers as well. And yeah, they just decided they've moved it outside the city slightly now, so all that's done outside, and they utilised the space. But everyone went crazy because the plan was to knock it down, and but they didn't, thank God.
Yeah, this is great. This is excellent. Tonight is the perfect place to be.
Well, guys, we went to Covent Garden, we sat down, and we didn't get any good service, and they ignored us, and they come back, and the food didn't look that great, and the people on the next table said it wasn't that great, so we got up, we moved, and we found this little place called Pasta Brown, and I'm looking for a street name, I haven't got it, but it's not far from Covent Garden, Pasta Brown, and it was great. We had the meatballs and garlic bread, and you know, it's not a cheap place, but it wasn't that dear. You know, main course about £10, and it was really, really good. So it was nice to finish a busy day walking around London, looking at the sights with something nice, a chat, and you know, a good meal. We've still got to make our way home. It's getting on towards 9 o'clock at night. It will take about an hour and a half to get home, but we'll probably have another walk round for an hour or so, perhaps grab a Coke somewhere else. And yeah, it's been a good day. I've really enjoyed it. You know, from somebody that comes from the city and knows it pretty well. Not so well, it's been proved today, but you know, as I said earlier on, I may have cut it out, but you know, go and explore your own town, your own city, your own area. There's some great places there, and sometimes you miss out if you live locally. You don't do what you could do. You just take time and you know, go out elsewhere sometimes and out your own area. But anyway, that's enough waffling for now.